In Norse mythology, Vanaheim is one of the 9 worlds and home of the Vanir, a group of gods associated with fertility, wisdom, and the ability to see the future. Vanaheim is attested in the Poetic Edda, compiled in the 13th century from earlier traditional sources, and the Prose Edda and Heimskringla, both written in the 13th century by Snorri Sturluson. In the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda, Vanaheim is described as the location where the Van god Njörðr was raised. In Norse cosmology, Vanaheim is considered one of the 9 worlds. Attestations. Vanaheim is mentioned a single time in the Poetic Edda in a stanza of the poem Vafthrudnismal. In Vafthrudnismal, Njörðr engages in a game of wits with the Jotun Vafthrudnir. Njörðr asks Vafthrudnir whence the Van god Njörðr came, for, though he rules over many Hofs and hogs, Njörðr was not raised among the Asir. The Vafthrudnir responds that Njörðr was created in Vanaheim by wise powers, and references that Njörðr was exchanged as a hostage during the Asir-Vanir War. In addition, Vafthrudnir comments that, when the world ends, Njörðr will return to the wise Vanir. In chapter 23 of the Prose Edda book Beginning, the enthroned figure of High says that Njörðr was raised in Vanaheim, but was later sent as a hostage to the Asir. The Heimskringla book Ynglinga Saga records a new Hebraized account of the origins of Norse mythology. In Chapter 1, Vanaheim, the home of the Vanir, is described as located around the Don River. Chapter 4 describes the Asir-Vanir War, noting that during a hostage exchange, the Asir sent the god Honir to Vanaheim and that he was immediately made chieftain. In Chapter 15, the king Svethir is recorded as having married a woman named Vanna in Vanaland, located in Sweden. The two produced a child, who they named Vanlandi. Theories. In a stanza of the Poetic Edda poem Völuspa, an unnamed vulva mentions the existence of 9 worlds. These worlds are nowhere specifically listed in sequence, but are generally assumed to include Vanaheim. Henry Adams Bellows considers the other 8 to be Asgard, Alfheim, Midgard, Jotunheim, Svartalfaheim, Nilheim, Muspelheim, and possibly Nithavalir. Hilda Ellis Davidson comments that exactly where Vanaheim is among the 9 worlds isn't clear, since the chief gods Frey and Njörðr with a number of others are represented along with the Asir in Asgard, but it seems probable that it was in the underworld. Davidson notes a connection between the Vanir and the land spirits who dwelt in mounds and hills and in water. Rudolf Simek claims that Snorri unquestionably invented the name Vanaheim as a Vanir counterpart to Asgard, but does not mention the Vafthrudnismal reference. In popular culture, in the Marvel Comics universes, Vanaheim is also one of the 9 worlds, home to the Vanir, including Frigga, Queen of Asgard and mother to Thor. Vanaheim appears in several titles, most notably storylines of the Thor and the Avengers titles. The people of Vanaheim go to war against the 9 realms due to the resurgence of old grudges inflamed by the demon Surtur. Vanaheim is featured as a location in the Marvel Studios film Thor: The Dark World, where it is portrayed as the home world of Thor's friend Hogun. Its inhabitants resemble humans of Northeast Asian descent. Vanaheim is a nation in Robert E. Howard's Hyborian Age.